Everyone, today we are going to discuss the next part of the chapter water, part 4. Here, first of all, we are going to, I have already discussed in this portion, the last part, that the importance of the water in the different fields. Now we are going to discuss the anomalous expansion of water. So what we are going to discuss today, that is anomalous expansion of water. Anomalous expansion of water. We are going to discuss this topic today first. So, what is the anomalous expansion of water? Water, it has a unique property. You know that whenever you supply the heat of any substance, generally what happened? After absorbing the heat, then the substance the volume of the substance increases. It's generally whenever you supply the heat, by absorbing the heat, the volume of the substance increases, and when the volume of the substance increases, the density of the substance decreases. Why? Because the density and volume, these are inversely proportional, because mass of the substance remain constant. So whenever after absorbing the heat energy, the volume of the substance increases, its density decreases. And the reverse thing happens whenever you cool it down, then the contraction of the substance takes place. Instead of expansion, the contraction of the substance takes place. And obviously, when the volume decreases, that means the contraction takes place, then the density increases. That is the normal phenomenon. But water behaves unusually within the range of the temperature from 0 degrees Celsius to 4 degrees Celsius. This range of the temperature from 0 degrees Celsius to 4 degrees Celsius, the behavior of water is completely different from other substances. That's why it terms as anomalous expansion of water. I am explaining you that whenever the temperature of water gradually decreases, consider the temperature of water is more than 4 degrees Celsius. Now the temperature of water gradually decreases. So whenever the temperature of the water gradually decreases, what will happen? Then the volume, that means the contraction takes place and the density increases, obviously, as the normal phenomenon. So whenever the temperature of the water reaches 4 degrees Celsius, then the density of the water is maximum. And if the temperature of the water then comes down from 4 degrees Celsius, then what will happen? When the temperature of water comes down from 4 degrees Celsius, instead of contraction, mind it, the temperature of water now less than 4 degrees Celsius. Instead of contraction, the volume of the water expands and the density decreases. That means the volume of the water increases and the density decreases. And when it reaches 0 degrees Celsius, then it forms the ice due to the solidification. But then also, the volume, the contraction, that means that the density of ice for the same volume of the water, the density of ice is less than the density of the water. That means what actually happened when the temperature of water gradually comes down from 4 degrees Celsius, then instead of contraction, the volume of the water expands and the density decreases. So whenever it reaches 0 degrees Celsius, the density of water is less. It turns to the ice than the density of water at 4 degrees Celsius. So this is the unusual behavior of the water. What actually it is given, that water has an unusual property. When it is cooled from the higher temperature, it contracts till 4 degrees Celsius, increasing its density, decreasing its volume, just like other liquid. But on cooling further below 0 degrees Celsius, water starts expanding. That means its volume increases and density decreases till the temperature reaches 0 degrees Celsius, when the water freezes to ice. So that is the unusual property that is termed as the anomalous expansion, and that's why you see, if you place a ice cube on a glass full of water or cold drink or whatever, you see the ice floats on the surface of water. Why? Because the density of ice is less than density of the water. Water has a maximum density at 4 degrees Celsius, and that's why the ice floats on the surface of water. Now this anomalous expansion of water, it is actually a blessing for our universe. Why? Because the aquatic plants and the animals survive in the colder region of the world, because even when the water of the ponds, lakes, rivers freezes, it freezes on the top but remains as a liquid below the ice layer. It means that if you consider that this is the surface of the pond and say this is the water level, so whenever the surroundings temperature gradually cool down, and when it reaches at 4 degrees Celsius, then the density of the water is maximum. So what will happen? Density is maximum, that means heavier in weight. So this water, this part of the water that actually settles at the bottom, and the water which actually at the bottom having the lower temperature, it has a low density and it goes in the upward direction. And this process is going on. This process is going on until and unless the upper surface of the water it freezes and forms the ice having the 0 degrees Celsius. But the water remain inside that ice having the temperature 4 degrees Celsius. So you see, at the top of the pond or river or lakes or oceans, the ice forms at the top of the surface of the water, and below that the temperature of the water is 4 degrees Celsius and it remains liquid. So here all the aquatic plants and animals can survive because it's a liquid. And not only that, it is not given in your book, ice is a bad conductor of heat. So if the temperature freezes in minus temperature, say minus 2 degrees Celsius or minus 4 degrees Celsius, whatever, that temperature it actually not penetrate with that ice layer, so it remains in the 4 degrees Celsius. So the aquatic life survives, and this is the mankind, or this is the actually the beneficial for that anomalous expansion of water. Okay, and next is that the potable water. What is the potable water? The water which actually fit for the drinking. As per your health concern, the water which is fit for drinking purpose, it is called the potable water. So there are some characteristics of the potable water. What kind of characteristics? It should be colorless, it should be odorless, it should be transparent, it should be free from harmful microorganisms. That means it should be free from the germs, it should be free from the suspended harmful substances, and it should contain some minerals. What I discussed in the online class, last online class, I have discussed that the dissolved impurities and the minerals are there. That's why the water, underground water, is very much fit for the drinking. And the characteristic, the water should be transparent, it should be clear. No, that means suspended impurities and germs, if it is not present, then this is helpful or fit for the drinking. Because if the water is not pure, then it can cause different kinds of the waterborne disease. And the most common disease, you know, that cholera, gastroenteritis, diarrhea, typhoid, jaundice, these are the kinds of the disease. These are the kinds of the waterborne disease. And what you have to do, you have to pure your water. That means the purification takes place. If you purify the water, then you can avoid these kinds of waterborne diseases. And some processes are there. The process by which you can remove or you can destroy the germs from the water to avoid the waterborne disease, that is termed as the sterilization. So remember the definition of sterilization along with some whatever you have to learn, that the 3 or 4 characteristics of the potable water. Next is name of 3 to 4 waterborne diseases. Then the definition of the sterilization. Sterilization is the process of removal of germs from the waterborne disease to avoid from water to avoid the waterborne disease. And there are some procedure for the sterilization of water. First is the boiling. Germs cannot exist at the boiling temperature. So boiling is the best way or the homemade way to kill the germs to purify the water. Next is that exposure to air and sunlight, that in the sunlight the ozone is present and that actually kills the germs. And next is that the chemical treatment. Some chemicals are there like chlorine, the ozone. These are actually capacity to kill the germs. And you know that here it is given the swimming pools are usually chlorinated to remove the danger of infection. Bleaching powder is a source of chlorine. Bleaching powder, it is also a germ killer due to the presence of chlorine. And bleaching powder is, as a source of chlorine, is added to the water tanks to kill the germs. And use of ozone to sterilize water is called ozonization. So from today's learning, whatever you have to learn, first of all, the anomalous expansion of water. That means you have to explain what is the anomalous expansion of water. Next is that the reasoning based question, that why the anomalous property of water enables the aquatic plants and the animals to survive in the colder region. Next, you have to learn the definition of potable water and the characteristics of the drinking water. 5 characteristics are there. You have to memorize at least 3 of them. And some of the name of the some waterborne diseases, definition of the sterilization, and the way how to sterilize the water by means of boiling, by means of using the exposure to the air and sunlight, and some chemicals like chlorine and ozone. You have to memorize that the name of the chemicals which can kill the germs present in the water, like chlorine and ozone. So up to this much today. Thank you.